In 1947, just before the birth of Israel, a Bedouin shepherd stumbled upon some scrolls in the caves of Qumran that would change the world's perspective on the Bible's accuracy forever.
It's as if the stones are actually crying out and speaking and proving the validity of the word.
The workers were digging with a drill, and in one moment it just disappeared inside the ground. And we came over and started digging with hands. It was closed for 2,000 years. I think we felt privileged, most of all.
One of the most interesting conclusions that we got here is the fact that this street was paved during the 30s of the 1st century CE, in the times of the Roman prefect called Pontius Pilate, which is famous for crucifying Jesus.
When the spring came, I started looking for a house in Ein-Kerem again. Ein-Kerem is an ancient village, which is now a neighborhood of Jerusalem. We found this home. It looked like nothing. No one lived here for a long time. We knew nothing about the house. It was all covered. It was very hard to see. So we were digging, and we were exposing the walls and opening the doorways. One day, we got a phone call from the people who were working here, and they said, "We think we found something." We invited the Antiquity Authority, and then came the archaeological and said, "What you found is a mikveh. It's a ritual bath from the 1st century, from the time of Jesus, Second Temple." And we understood, I think, in that moment, that we have something that is much bigger than us. It's not ours, even though it's in the middle of our living room. This mikveh, this ritual bath, is one of the strongest evidence that there used to be an ancient Jewish village in Ein-Kerem in the 1st century. That's one of the reasons why it's so important. It's also part of the story of Mary, pregnant with Jesus, who came to visit Elizabeth, pregnant with John the Baptist, who grew up in this village. So all layers come together. What you're touching now, it's 2,000 years old.
This is the exact same wall that was here 2,000 years ago.
Yes, it is.
It's amazing.
It can happen only in Jerusalem. Knowing that you're covered by many, many years and history that it's like a puzzle. It's like you take all pieces together and you find them in one home, in one house that happens to be our living room.
This land is a living testimony that the Bible is and always has been more than just a collection of stories. Just beneath the surface lie mountains of testimony, and you don't always have to dig.
There are many significant finds all of the time in this land, but nothing that compares to this.
In 1947, just before the birth of Israel, a Bedouin shepherd stumbled upon some scrolls in the caves of Qumran that would change the world's perspective on the Bible's accuracy forever.
We're standing in one of the caves where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. So all the copies of the Hebrew Bible were actually found in caves like this in the area around Qumran. They date to approximately 2,000 years ago, so they are more than 1,000 years older than the oldest previously found copy. They are almost identical to the Masoretic text that was compiled in Tiberias and also in Babylonia between the 6th to the 10th century AD. So this proves the continuity of the biblical account, that over thousands of years the text has actually remained unchanged. So this is a hugely significant and exciting discovery. Each time that we excavate, we find things that are proving the biblical account beyond a shadow of a doubt. So this is really strengthening the validity of the biblical narrative. It's strengthening our faith that the Word of God is really accurate.
Just outside Jerusalem's old city walls, some archaeologists right now are in the process of unearthing an ancient road.
We're standing on a road led from the Siloam Pool to the Temple Mount. It was used for pilgrims that went up to the Temple Mount. They came to do the festivals and the sacrifices that was brought to the Temple Mount.
The same road Jesus took into the city just days before he was crucified.
One of the basic principles in archaeology is whatever I found underneath a certain element will give me the date of it. Like if I'll find coins underneath the pavement stones here, they'll give me the latest date of the street. Basically, the coins that was found on the street are dated to the time of Pontius Pilate.
So Pontius Pilate is the same time as Jesus?
As Jesus, yeah. It brings everything to life, because if you used to read any kind of different sources, you read it and try to imagine it in your mind, then suddenly you can come to this place, look at it and say, okay, that's exactly where everyone walked. That's exactly the people walked up to the Temple Mount. That's what they did.
Like no other place on earth can, Israel holds the proof of the scriptures in its soil. Every day something new is discovered, because even the rocks cry out and testify to his word.
Hey, I'm Mati Shoshani, and thank you for watching the TBN Israel YouTube channel. We hope this video gave you greater understanding of Israel and her people. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. We'd love to hear from you, so be sure to share what you've learned and ask your questions in comments below. And invite your friends to join the conversation.